Yes guys, how are you doing? And welcome back to another YouTube video. So in today's video, I'm going to go through a upper mobility routine which follows last week's video, which was a lower mobility routine. So after this video, go ahead and check that one out. I'm going to put the link in the description below. So the only equipment that you'll need for today's routine will be a foam roller and a resistant band. So this is just this is the lightest resistant band you can get. That's all we'll need for today. The way that we're going to structure it, we're going to start off with working the thoracic spine. We're going to move a little bit onto shoulders and scapula, and then we're going to finish off with just a wrist mobility exercise. So let's go straight into the first one. Like I said, thoracic spine is what we're going to start off with, and we're actually going to use this foam roller. So we're going to go into some T-spine extensions. What you're going to do is you're going to put it into the kind of midsection of your back. Bear in mind, if this is the first time of doing this exercise, guys, it is going to kind of feel a little bit odd, maybe at some discomfort. So of course, if it is, then maybe look at doing some alternate exercises to begin with, or just get used to using a foam roller, or even get like a slightly softer one, because this one that I'm using is actually quite hard. So you're going to go in the midsection of your spine, and all we're going to do is we're going to imagine we're doing like a kind of sit up. We're going to go all the way down, and then we're going to drive up. We're going to do 8 to 10 reps, nice controlled. You may kind of hear a few cracking noises. That's completely normal. 5 more reps. We're just going to do one set of every single exercise today. 3 more. Last 2. Don't know if you heard that on camera, but that was that was a very, very large crack. So that's our first exercise done. Going all the way back, slight pause, and then driving all the way up. We're going to go straight into our next exercise, which is going to be for the thoracic spine. It's going to be a little bit for the lats as well, and it's called thread the needle. So what we're going to do, we're going to go onto all fours. We're going to bring one hand across and then drive all the way back up. So fully extend. Your arm that's on the ground is going to be going down a little bit, and then drive it up. We're going to do 8 to 10 one side, and then 8 to 10 on the other. So big stretch, fantastic for the thoracic spine. This one, all the way down towards the ground. Try and push those hips back, and then same again on the other side. So all the way down. Good. Deep breath in, breathe out the top. I'm going to do 5 more. So again, just like the first exercise, 8 to 10 on each. Last few. Big stretch and relax. Perfect. So they are going to be our first 2 exercises for the thoracic spine. So we're going to move straight on to a couple of shoulder mobility exercises. So the first one I'm going to do on the ground, these are called axial rotations. You can do these standing up against the wall as well. So what we're going to do, we're going to lay onto our back, and all we're going to do is we're going to kind of push our shoulders up a little bit rather than have them too far down, just a little bit in this position. And we're just going to have our kind of hands quite kind of straight, and we're going to drive them back. Elbows need to stay on the ground the whole time, and we're going to turn all the way up like so. Myself, I actually had a bit of a scapular problem a few years ago, which affected the kind of right side of my body, which I've finally been able to kind of rectify over the few years. So shoulder mobility, scapular mobility is very, very important, especially if you kind of had an injury. So driving those back all the way. Make sure you don't overextend. Just keep it nice and controlled, like so. 8 to 10 again. I'm going to do one more here. And stretch and relax. Perfect. So that's our first exercise. We're going to move on to the second one. So this one, we're going to use a band, and this is going to be called a pass through. So again, you can do this one standing up if you wanted to. You can also do it laying down flat on the floor, but I'm just going to go onto my knees. We're going to have quite a wide grip, and we're going to go all the way out, and then we're going to come all the way back through. The key on this one is trying to keep your hands as far wide as possible, so when you come back around, you don't let it come kind of in the in section there. So all the way out, drive it back. Don't go too fast either, just keep it nice controlled. So again, we're going to go 8 to 10. So big stretch. Again, you don't want to kind of fully extend and go all the way out. Just keep it nice controlled. Just find your range of motion, test it a little bit, but don't kind of overextend. I'm going to do 3 more. And relax. Perfect. Cool. So there are first 4 exercises. We've started with the thoracic spine. We've moved on to the shoulders. That's the first part of the mobility routine done. If you are enjoying this mobility routine, guys, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Mobility routines, ab workouts, HIIT workouts coming to you on my YouTube channel. We're going to keep with shoulders, and we're going to focus maybe a little bit more on scapula. So the first one we're going to start off with is going to be a prone press. So what we're going to do in this position, we're going to lay flat down. I'll talk first before I do it because obviously my mic's nice and close. What we're going to be doing, we're going to lift our arms slightly upright when we're kind of facing down, and we're going to drive all the way back. Make sure we kind of retract our scapula backwards and then press all the way up. The reason we want to focus on our scapula is a lot of kind of horizontal and vertical rowing movements. You really kind of need to retract the scapula rather than being too hunched over. The same applies when you're doing a kind of shoulder press movement as well. You don't want your kind of scapula to be in the incorrect position. You really want to kind of retract it. So what we're going to be doing is going to lay flat down, 8 to 10 reps. Drive those elbows down, fully extend up. Nice controlled. Five more there. So again, can you see just the tempo? We're just going nice and slowly. Nothing too crazy. That slight pause at the bottom. Last one. Excellent, guys. Cool. Next one, we're going to go straight into kind of protraction and retraction. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing cat-cow in a second, which is going to be the hunched back in that position. But this one, what we're going to do is we're going to push all the way down. So our head's going towards our hands, and then we're just going to drive up. All the way down and driving up. Again, 8 to 10, nice controlled. That slight pause on both of them. So again, purely just using the really kind of upper part of our back and our scapula to kind of protract and retract. What I'd suggest, guys, for mobility routines is try and do them maybe sort of 2 or 3 times a week at minimum, focusing on, not just upper body but lower body too. Especially as well if you've got a slight weakness, like I said earlier, mine is my scapula, so I do a lot of kind of shoulder mobility work. If you have a particular problem, whether it's your ankle or hip flexors or your glutes, really try and focus on them directly with certain mobility routines, especially if you're doing a lower body day. Really kind of focus on the warm up for that specific area. So that's what I suggest, and then just overall of the week, try and get them in sort of 2 or 3 days. At the moment, whilst I'm at home, I do sort of every other day, so sort of 3 or 4 times a week. Let's go into the next one. So I kind of touched on it earlier. It's going to be the cat-cow position. So fantastic upper back mobility exercise. So we're going to go for the cow first. We're going to go all the way down. We're going to push our hips backwards, kind of bring our chest down towards the ground, and then we're going to drive up and really try and hunch up as much as possible. We're going to do 5 reps, and we're going to hold both for 5 seconds. So nice, controlled, all the way up like so. And then same again. Really push yourself up. It's quite interesting. Some of my clients and some people I know of, you find it very difficult to hunch in that position, and it definitely does take some time to get used to because it's such an unnatural position to be in. It's very difficult to actually perform the exercise because you can never actually relate to that movement. You've never kind of really been like in that position before. So that's the cat-cow. Fantastic for the upper body, the trap area and everything like that, which is really, really cool. The last one that we're going to finish off with is going to be for our wrists. So if you have weak wrists when you're doing push-ups, dips, wrist mobility is really, really cool. A lot of kind of forearm strength as well is going to be used. So again, if you want to improve your forearms, then do some wrist strength as well, which is quite cool. So this is going to be like quite a standard mobility exercise, and it's going to be a front-facing stretch. So what we're going to do on our hands, and we're just going to bring our body weight all the way forward. You're going to feel a bit of tension on your wrist and then kind of rock back. So same again, we're going to do 10 reps. Make sure as well we're not overextending. You can also do this one facing the other way, like so. We're going to keep with the front facing for today. 5 more reps. So nice, controlled. You're going to see, or you're going to feel that stretch and all that pressure on the wrist. With this one, guys, just be mindful of the wrists. If you're starting to hurt towards the back end, just kind of take it back a little bit. If you've never done wrist mobility before, I would suggest just doing maybe 1 or 2 exercises and then just leaving it like that. If you work on them a bit too much, it might be a little bit too much pain. So that is today's mobility routine, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you do want some more mobility routine ideas or just general workout ideas, go ahead and check out my Instagram at Nathan Collins with 2 N's. I forgot my Instagram name there for a second. Go ahead and check it out. I do videos, workout videos pretty much every other day. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.